Anyway, are you ready? Gobble. I just want to tell you this, very important. You are hereby unconditionally pardoned. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
Good party, turkey. Oh, Trump is something else.
Beautiful. That's nice. Who would want to harm this beautiful bird? That's good. That's good. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Trump says, "Is this a violent bird?"
We have more people praying. The churches are coming back. I don't know if you've been reading that story, but religion is coming back to America. Some people say, oh, why would you mention that? To me, that's a big deal happening in Chicago. We could make Chicago a safe city in a period of 4 weeks. In a period of 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks, it would be totally safe. And the people of Chicago want us to go there. And if you look at the crime that's taken place in Chicago in the last 2 weeks, just take a look. It's on the front page of every newspaper. It's out of control. The mayor is incompetent, and the governor is a big fat slob. He ought to invite us in, say, please make Chicago safe. We're going to lose a great city if we don't do it quickly. She talk about Pritzker in size. But when I talk about Pritzker, I get angry because he's not letting us do the job. So I'm not going to tell my Pritzker joke. They have a very cute little joke, you know. Some speechwriter wrote some joke about his weight. But I would never want to talk about his weight. I don't talk about people being fat. I refuse to talk about the fact that he's a fat slob. I don't mention it. On a more serious note, as we gather around the dinner table, I'd like to lose a few pounds too, by the way. And I'm not going to lose it on Thanksgiving, I can tell you that. Because I'm going to have a turkey, but it's not going to be that one. Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey. Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. And you try to kill our we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Donald Trump is often called the president of the world. Multiple world leaders have called him that. I don't want to call him that, but that's what world leaders have called him because the office itself is so unbelievably powerful, Piers, and you have military bases all over, and every second there's another world leader calling you for something. And I think there's a reality distortion field in DC that has been very pernicious in our politics in America for the last 50 years, for sure, since the Second World War, where American politicians feel like they have to be the world's police and they feel like they have to be the world's daddy. And that's not why we elected you, damn it. You know, we elected you to be daddy here, to care for your children, which are American. And I think that that's how a lot of administrations, Trump's and many others, have gotten sort of derailed and have soured with the American people because they do focus so much abroad. And it's like this lack of an ability to focus domestically here in a country that has a ton of problems, like a lot of real problems for real Americans. And they're the stakeholders in this nation. They're the ones who elect you. You should have allegiance to absolutely no one else other than this nation and its voters. And you should care for them like your own children. That's your job. That's why we pay you. And that it's actually your moral duty.
Wait, what do y'all think of that? I just want to start to show off with that right there. We've seen this going viral. I mean, you know how a lot of the leftists and all kind of people then took this and took it out of context. And people are saying, oh, now Benny Johnson has Trump fatigue, you know, and all kind of stuff like that. But we've seen this going viral. I just want to get y'all, you know, I want y'all to weigh in on that, you know. I know a lot of y'all feel that way, you know. But that's not why we elected you, damn it. We elected you to be daddy here for your children, which are Americans. They call Trump the president of the world, the peace president. There's so many names, you know. But again, man, we got some big things to get into. Democrats, the rhinos. I tell you, it's just a bunch of crap with these politicians, man. But Trump is once again breaking the internet, as we can see. Early this morning, literally just an hour ago, you know, saying all kind of things. But you know, we got to go out with a Trump. We got to go out with a Trump bang before Thanksgiving. Now, y'all know, just a couple of hours, and I wanted to say you guys happy Thanksgiving. I hope everybody that's tuned in right now that you are blessed, well, and healthy. That you are having a great day, week so far. You know, that you're hanging in there. You know, working. We're all working hard, blood, sweat, and tears. You know, trying to survive, trying to stay alive, you know. What a time to be alive. But y'all keep spreading that love to one another. You know, keep being an amazing human being. It doesn't take much to be a great human being, man. You know, check on your loved ones, check on your people. You know. But Trump pardons Thanksgiving turkey gobble in a glorious Trump fashion. Oh boy, let's check this out.
Are you ready? Gobble. I just want to tell you this very important. You are hereby unconditionally pardoned. Praise the Lord.
And look at the beautiful first lady. Look at the beautiful first lady, y'all.
Who would want to harm this beautiful girl? That's good. That's good. Thank you very much. Fantastic job. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody.
I wonder what the deranged leftists are going to say about this, you know. But Trump is pissed that a beautiful young woman was set on fire on a Chicago train by a career criminal thug arrested 72 times. The mayor is incompetent and the governor is a big fat slob. Oh, boy.
So all the crime that took place last night, the night before, the woman with the burning, they burned the woman. To be talking about that now, they burned this beautiful woman riding in a train. A man was arrested 72 times.
And that's one thing we've talked about on this show, y'all, so many times. You know, just let them back out free. Let them go back out and smile. Oh, just a slap on the wrist. They won't do anything else. Just let them back out. Let the criminals back out. We care so much for the illegals as well, which are criminals too. They've committed a crime. They're illegal. Man, you know, I know we laugh about this, but honestly, I shouldn't even be on here laughing and having fun with y'all. This is serious stuff, man. You know, and this is why Trump and a majority of Americans are pissed off. You know, there's beautiful souls that should still be here. There's been so many things that have taken place that should have not taken place. And there's no other way I can put that.
72 times, think of that. And they'll let him out again. The liberal judges will let him out again. But we're ready to go. You know, we've been moving toward Chicago. We have a governor that thinks it's wonderful that only like 7 people were killed this week. But we are moving toward doing, and we're going to, if crime gets, it's horrible what's happening in Chicago. We could make Chicago a safe city.
Y'all know Trump doesn't, I told y'all about these numbers. They don't care if the number goes all the way down. This, you know, Trump doesn't care if it's just 7. He cares about that 7 that passed away this past weekend. He cares about it. You know, but they criticize, they bash it, man. But Trump, everything is over here. We see the numbers are coming down, this and that, you know. And then the next hour, there's another report and breaking news of a massive shooting in Chicago. Once again, 3 dead.
In a period of 4 weeks, in a period of 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks, it would be totally safe. And the people of Chicago want us to go there. And if you look at the crime that's taken place in Chicago in the last 2 weeks, just take a look. It's on the front page of every newspaper. It's out of control. The mayor is incompetent, and the governor is a big fat slob. He ought to invite us in, say, please make Chicago safe. We're going to lose a great city if we don't do it quickly. Make Chicago, we'll do the same thing as we did in D.C., the same thing as we did everywhere we've gone.
Man, they for to give Trump hell after he again, but he's pissed off. He's dead serious, man. And I know we laughing and all kind of stuff, but no, this is serious, man. And it's a disgrace we're going. And a lot of folks from Chicago, they feel President Trump. You know, and we know how the leftists and people gonna say, "Oh, Trump just said this. Trump just called him a big fat slob. Oh, the big bad orange man." But no, this stuff is serious, man. It is serious. You know. But man, because I'll be honest, President Trump is not a perfect man, but I didn't vote for him to be perfect. I voted for him because he was the perfect person to save this country. We will never have a president where you agree with every single thing they do or say. A president is a human being, and humans are not perfect. But let's be real. In just 1 year back in office, Trump has done more to fix this country than the last guy did in 4 years. He took America back from a party that stole 2020 and turned this nation upside down, and people forget this part. He literally put his life on the line for the country when he would do anything to save America, and I'll never forget that. And if he ever goes in the wrong direction, trust me, he will correct course and get us right back on track. But at the end of the day, Trump is fighting to get this country across the finish line. That's why I stand with him every time. Wow. Yes, indeed, man. I gotta repost that. I'm gonna just I gotta repost it and show love on that right there. I have to, you know. But again, people are reposting this thing that Trump said about Pritzker, you know, and you know, a lot of people in Chicago down there call him the same thing, a big fat slob, and make all kind of things. A lot of people think that him and that mayor are incompetent, you know. But yeah.
Talk about his weight, talk about Pritzker in size, but when I talk about Pritzker, I get angry because he's not letting us do the job. So I'm not going to tell my Pritzker joke. They have a very cute little joke, you know. Some speechwriter wrote some joke about his weight, but I would never want to talk about his weight. I don't talk about people being fat.
And this is the clip they forget to play, huh? You know, they forget to play.
I refuse to talk about the fact that he's a fat slob. I don't mention it. On a more serious note, as we gather around the dinner table, I'd like to lose a few pounds too, by the way.
You see?
And
y'all know the first thing they do with Trump. You're not just a skinny guy either. But again, Trump, he knows how y'all are, what y'all be saying, man. Trump, I'm telling y'all that. Little do y'all know. I mean, Trump, they come across some things, man. I promise you. He's a human being. We're human beings, man. You know? And Trump will acknowledge that. And that's one thing people love about this president. He says, hey, I'm not a skinny guy. I need to lose some weight too. You know, after making the insult, he then kind of, puts the insult back on him. You know. Gotta love President Trump, man.
Around the dinner table, I'd like to lose a few pounds too, by the way. And I'm not going to lose it on Thanksgiving, I can tell you that. Because I'm going to have a turkey, but it's not going to be that one. I hope all of...
Oh, man. And this was breaking the internet, too. I seen he made a joke and talked about Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. Check this out.
Names of Gobble and Waddle. When I first saw the pictures, I thought we should send them... Well, I shouldn't say this. I was going to call them Chuck and Nancy. But then I realized I wouldn't be pardoning them. I would never pardon those two people. I wouldn't pardon them. I wouldn't care what Melania told me. Darling, I think it would be a nice thing to do. I won't do it, darling. These are two of the largest turkeys ever presented to an American president, over 50 pounds each. It's the largest we've ever had. And those are big turkeys. Are they as good as the normal-sized turkey? Better or as good? Do they tend to be a little fatty, maybe? No, he said no. He knows the turkey business. Anyway, despite their size, Secretary Kennedy has formally certified that these are the first ever Maha turkeys. I don't know if I agree with that. These are Maha. In other words, they could be fat, but they're still Maha. They've been fattened on a steady diet of grass, beef, to allow the smoothies and all of the other things that they've been eating for this occasion. This was a really big occasion, but they've eaten every fattening food that you can eat. We wanted to really make them special, and they really are. They're like record-setting. I've never seen a turkey that big before. Are they violent at all? Will they attack as I...
Oh boy. But it says, what's Trump? Despite their size, Secretary Kennedy has formally certified that these are the first ever Maha turkeys. Maha. Make America healthy again turkeys.
These are two of the largest turkeys ever presented to an American president, over 50 pounds each. It's the largest we've ever had. And those are big turkeys. Are they as good as the normal-sized turkey? Better or as good? Do they tend to be a little fatty, maybe? No, he said no. He knows the turkey business. Anyway, despite their size, Secretary Kennedy has formally certified that these are the first ever Maha turkeys. I don't know if I agree with that. These are Maha.
I don't know if I agree with that.
In other words, they could be fat, but they're still Maha. They've been fattened on a steady diet of grass, beef, to allow the smoothies and all of the other things that they've been eating for this occasion. This was a really big occasion, but they've eaten every fattening food that you can eat. We wanted to really make them special, and they really are. They're like record-setting. I've never seen a turkey that big before. Are they violent at all? Will they attack as they walk over? Because if they were, I'll stay right up here. But
oh man, Trump just being Trump, man. As we get ready for Thanksgiving, what a time to be alive, man. Trump, what do y'all expect, man? Trump is always going to say the unthinkable, but people are going to feel it, man. People are going to love it, And this is why so many people love and have flocked to President Trump, even some that didn't like Trump, didn't vote for him the first time, or this time, some that just, even some that had Trump derangement syndrome, and now they kind of just came over. There's some that have left President Trump. They've left the MAGA base, and hey, got nothing against you. Again, we all think differently. We all, are triggered by something. We all agree to disagree on things. And again, whether you love or hate the man, he is the president. And again, we send our prayers to Trump and this administration, and that he continues to have our best interests in heart. It's only been 10 months. So again, pot is cooking, y'all. Just like y'all got it on Thanksgiving. Pot is cooking, man. Eventually, we got to come to the table. We got to try it. We got to put something on our plate and try it. And either you going to say, oh, no. Or you going to say, and get you another plate. And get you another plate. You might get 3 plates. Hey. I know some of y'all get full after eating half of the plate. I know. But hey, man. Gotta let the team play out. But I do want to just say happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Again, I hope that you have an amazing Thanksgiving, that you spend time with loved ones, have great company, family and friends, even strangers, your neighbor, I don't know, invite somebody in and give somebody a nice plate, Hey, it goes a long way. You never know, man. You never know. Maybe go to your job and pass out plates and stuff like that. Do what it do. I know there's many ways people celebrate and do things. And hey, I want to just wish the best in everybody's life, man. We're all living in this fast time travel, in this corrupt scam matrix. And it doesn't take much to just be a great human being, man, and spread love, man. God is love, baby. I love y'all. But once again, Trump is breaking the internet, and I'm glad we're here to cover it and have a good time with it, man. We're all human beings at the end of the day. I love y'all. God bless you all and your family. Catch y'all in the next one. Peace and love, you guys.